All right, so let's get started. Good to see all of you here. Good to see different experience levels with Meshtastic, familiarity, some that people, I don't know what it is, but I like it, I want to learn more about it, to I've got my own node that I brought with me and I've been using it and I want to maybe tweak it and use it a little bit better. Scott, can you just take a look, make sure that I've got that set up right? So what we're going to do today, we're not going to assume that anybody knows anything about Meshtastic. We'll quickly go through a presentation that'll bring everybody up to the same level. So we're going to do just a quick introduction, talk about what is Meshtastic, why do I want it, and we kind of hit on some of the key points already. How can I use it? What do I need? And how do I start? Then we'll just quickly talk about next steps that you can do to further your progress. Some wild ideas that popped into my head about future of Meshtastic and some things that we might see. So I'll play this back in 10 years and see how close I was. And then we'll do a quick demo. So we'll do a demo with some of the nodes in here, just showing everybody how to text, how to send messages back and forth, how to set up, how to use private channels. So you can have public communications, you can have private communications. So we'll teach you how to do that and show you how to do that. Wrap up with a Q&A, and then we'll stop the video and we'll move to the workshop section. And in the workshop section, we will take you through programming a node from start to finish, how to set it up. You're welcome to follow along with us, and then hopefully by that time Colt will be here, and the three of us, Scott, Colt, and I, will be around looking over your shoulder, answering any questions, helping you set things up. All right, does that sound fair? Questions before we start? All right. All right, introduction. I already introduced myself before some of you got here, but radio nerd, recently retired. I've worked in IT and telecoms, from IBM to T-Mobile and Sprint, and started looking for something to do once I retired. I didn't want to sit around the house watching Jerry Springer 24 hours a day, which you can do now, by the way. So I started looking into ham radio. It started with GMRS, got into ham, and then Meshtastic came along. So it just a fun hobby and something that I can really use. I'm a licensed GMRS and ham operator. You don't need a license, so we are all licensed Meshtastic users because you don't need a license. So all of us can start using it. And a couple of things here. This was my first node, and you'll notice it's an Altoids tin. I bought the parts and pieces. Patrick was talking about how you can buy components, and that's how I started. And I was looking for something sturdy, so I cut two holes in the Altoid tin, and one for the antenna, one for the power, and voila, I had a node, and I was up in the air. From that, I went and built my own solar node up here, and this is on top of a painter pole on my deck to test it out, make sure that it worked. And then this is the more permanent installation up on the deck of K4JFF's house on top of Pine Mountain. And it's been working great for 6 months. Zero electricity needed, totally powered by the sun. And if you remember a couple of months ago, we had all those rainy days, 3 or 4 rainy days in a row. The battery of that thing got down to 85%. And that's it. So I figure if I put that in a dark room, it would run for about 2 weeks before it ran out of power. A little bit overkill, but I didn't want to go back up there and have to change things out. So that's how I started. Okay. If you have any questions, please just blurt it out. Don't wait until the end, even though we'll have a more Q&A session there. But what is it? Okay, what's Meshtastic? It's public domain. It started out of GitHub, if you know GitHub. So that means that there's no company behind it. There's no cost to it. It's all built from the ground up, and it's maintained from the ground up. People like Patrick, people like Scott, people like me could make an enhancement to it, submit it, and have it become part of the software, okay? If somebody does something, you've got thousands of eyes looking at what was done and say, oh, wait a minute, that's not good. So it is public domain. It totally off-grid. As I was saying before, it does not depend on electricity if you have a solar node or if you run on batteries. It doesn't require internet. You can use the internet. There's something called MQQT that runs on it and lets you send packets across the internet, but you don't need it, and most purists will tell you don't do it. Just use RF. But it doesn't require internet, doesn't require routers, repeaters, or anything like that, like we do in Ham Radio and GMRS. So it is truly off-grid. You can put it on top of Mount Everest, and guess what? It would work. Uses the 900 megahertz band, and it's in the U.S. I'm talking about. Overseas, they use lower frequencies, but in the U.S., it's the 900 band. It's the ISM band. It is an unlicensed band. That's why we don't need licenses, and it is free for all. So that's the downside of it, is you got to put up with interference from other things. Like in the old days when we had cordless radios, some of them ran on 900 megahertz. Remote controlled cars and things like that, some of them ran on 900. It's free to use, no license required, but there's a lot of junk out there. And depending on where you are, you may see some of that. A lot of the meters, the wireless electric meters and water meters and things like that, run on 900 megahertz. So all those things are out there, but it works pretty good. And the software was written to use very low power and to work very well when there's a lot of noise. Exceptionally well, surprisingly well. It is optimized for low power transmission, and it shares the band with others. Runs on multi-platforms. You can put the Meshtastic software on PCs, on laptops, tablets, phones, dedicated devices, you name it. You can build your own device. People are putting them on Raspberry Pis as additional boards and creating their own nodes. So it doesn't restrict you. It runs on iOS, it runs on Android, runs on tablets, whatever you want. Talked about how it doesn't rely on infrastructure. Well, how does it work then? Well, it creates its own peer-to-peer infrastructure. This node will see those nodes will see the node in my car, which will see the node on top of Pine Mountain, which will see blah, 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 blah. And they talk to each other and they figure out how to route messages. No infrastructure needed. Node-to-node mesh network. Coverage, again, depends on the height, depends on the terrain, but anywhere from 2 to 10 plus miles. And I say 10 plus because put it on top of Lavender Mountain or Mount Alto, you're going to see 20, 30 miles or more. If you haven't seen them already, once you set up your node, there's a long fast channel that is like channel 19 for CB, if you remember that. Everybody's on there. And every week, at least 2 or 3 times a week, somebody gets up on an airplane and starts sending out messages. Yeah, there was a guy on Frontier Airlines, and he's sending messages from 35,000 feet, and he's covering multiple states. So your range will vary. The number of FARs, as Randy says, will depend on where you are and what you're doing. No internet needed, no grid power. It does use encryption. So you can send secure messages from person to person, from node to node, or you can turn it off. One point I'll make. When you set up your node, it will ask you, are you a ham operator? Know that if you say, yes, I'm a ham operator, amateur radio does not allow encryption. So if you say, yes, you are a ham, you will not be able to encrypt your communications from node to node. Okay? It lets you use higher power, but no encryption. So just understand that. Most people, even those that are ham, will say no and use the encryption version of it.
Will
yes?
It pass encrypted message?
I think so. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. But I think so.
I know the ham side and the non-ham side don't interconnect at all.
Okay. You couldn't even pass a message?
They won't share nodes. They won't
Okay.
talk to each other. They're totally separate.
Okay. Good to know.
Nodes connect. Let's talk about how they connect. They connect via RF. You can turn on an internet connection, MQTT. And once you turn on the internet, anything that'll pass internet traffic will pass Meshtastic traffic. So it could be a microwave link, it could be Wi-Fi, it could be satellite, it could be cellular internet, whatever. If you can get internet through it, then you can get Meshtastic through the internet. Most people don't do that just because it's cheating. You want to be able to use it. And more importantly, as many of you said, including myself, you want this for emergency communications. You want it when everything else is down. So if you want to play with the internet piece of it, get a second node. Spend another 30, 40, 50 bucks, and now you got it. You got one on the internet and one on RF. I will tell you, because I had mine on the internet, lasted about a week. I was just flooded with good morning, Mesh. Hello, world. Greetings from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Greetings from California. It was just too much. So beware. All right? All right. It's self-healing. Okay? So if you look at each of these dots and say that each one is a node, you see multiple connections between them. If this particular node is down, and I want to go from here to here, this is down, so I can take a route this way. It will do that. It's self-healing. Every once in a while, you'll see a node, and it's somebody in a car driving by, and you can see him, you can see him, you can talk to him, you can talk to him, and then all of a sudden he's gone. So that's a beauty of Meshtastic, is that it is not rigid. It is self-healing. And if a node goes down, if a node runs out of power, fine, I'll just find another route. And where it's interesting, you're going to do trace routes later on your nodes, or maybe you've already done them. Sometimes you will see a trace route from your node to the node you're trying to find, and it might take 1, 2, 3 hops. On the way back, it may take only 2 hops or 1 hop. It learns, okay, this is the way I found you, but now there's a faster way back. So sometimes your trace routes, oftentimes your trace routes will have a number of hops out and a different number of hops back. So that's what's great about it. That's what makes it so resilient, especially when everything else is down. Okay, messages. I can send a message from device to device. So I can send a message from my node to yours directly, and we'll show you that. I can send a message to everybody, and especially if I use long fast, everybody around me can hear what I'm saying. It's a broadcast to everybody. Or I can send device to a group of devices via channels. So I can create a channel. So for example, I created a North Georgia mesh channel, and I'll share what that is. I can send that to NG Mesh, and anybody who I've given that channel to, or anybody that somebody I've given that channel to gives it to, can use that channel and log in. And you don't log in, but you go into it and you can send and receive messages. So you've got a lot of flexibility. I can send it to my daughter and only have her see it, or I can send it to just this group and have you guys see it, or I can send it to everybody. It's all there, and it's very easy, you'll see. And it is worldwide. It's not just the US. Although when you set up your node, you have to tell it what region you're using, and if you say the US region, then you can only talk to other US nodes. Ways around that as well. There's gateways you can connect US to Europe or whatever, but 99.999% of the people, you're going to set it up to a region, you're going to use it in that region. Okay, why would I want it? Well, we talked about it. These 3 things really represent what most people are going to want to use Meshtastic for. Community. Communities can set up their own mesh network, whether it be Aries, Emergency, ERC can set up their own mesh, or municipalities. And when Colt comes, he may talk about it. He's been doing a lot of work up in North Georgia, and he's actually gotten some of the small towns, municipalities, and counties to put up their own mesh nodes so that they can have it as an alternate way to reach people in emergencies. If the local cell tower is down, the internet is down, a tornado came through or whatever, they have nodes on top of water towers, on top of city hall towers or whatever, and they can use that to send messages purely voluntary. They'll tell their residents, get one of these nodes, here's how you set it up, and now we can warn you if power is down, infrastructure is down, where to go to get food, where to go to get water, and so forth. Disasters, that's pretty self-evident. And then decentralized. Anybody that doesn't want to have to depend on infrastructure, like Mark and I were talking about. I don't want to depend on anybody else. I just want to have a node, the other person have a node, and we can talk. Okay. Alternate emergency way to communicate. You can use it for day-to-day. People that want to prepare off-net, prepper communications. I'm a big fan of having this be one of many ways that you have to communicate with people that you love, people that are your friends. And I talked about it already. Plan A, first, if I want to reach you, I'm going to reach for this. I'm going to call you on the phone. Everybody has it. It's the easiest way to do it. If the voice is down because everybody's trying to make phone calls, then I have the ability to send you a text message. Plan C, email. Well, I can do email on my phone. I can do email on my computer. That's another way to reach you. Those three things are great, but they all have one thing in common. They require some type of infrastructure. Cell towers or internet. If those things are down, A, B, and C, out of the picture. So then what do you do? Well, we're all GMRS, we're all ham operators, so that's where that comes in. That's the next layer down. However, those things, you can talk simplex, limited distance, but if I want to reach somebody incoming from Dalton, simplex isn't going to do it. I need a repeater, and if the repeater's down, then Plan D is not usable. Okay? And within Plan D, you know, you have GMRS, you have amateur radio, you have CB, you have MERS, you have multiple tools within that layer, but they all share the same thing. They require, for more than nearby distances, some kind of infrastructure. That's where Meshtastic comes in. Plan E, Meshtastic doesn't need anything. It just needs two of these. If you've got two nodes, that's all you need. You can route to each other. If you're close enough, within 2 to 10 miles, as I said, depending on your position, you can talk directly. If not, I'll bounce my message off 1, 2, 3, or 4 other nodes and get it to you. Okay? So this is my backup recovery plan and all the different layers. So my Meshtastic is not my go-to, but it is a very important part of it. Also, you can think of this as, this is very functional, very versatile. I can send, you know, live voice conversation, full conversation just like we're having here. I can send text messages, rich text messages with videos, with pictures, with everything. I can have video calls, FaceTime each other. All those things I can do with cell phones, but it requires an infrastructure. The further down you go in this layered approach, the less function you have. When you get down to E, Meshtastic, all you can do is send messages back and forth. You can't attach anything, you can't send a picture, but oftentimes, especially in emergencies, that's all you need. Help, I need water, or where can I get gas in Kennesaw, and send it out. So it's very useful when you need it. Easy to deploy to family, no license is needed, we talked about that. Anybody, all you need is a node. It's not even like GMRS where you have to apply for a license. You'll just buy a node, you're up. You're using Meshtastic. How does it work? Basic communications. Your distance may vary. Who can I talk to easily? That's anybody else that has a Meshtastic node. And can I have private conversations? We talked about that. Yes, you can. So this map is now about 3 months old. You can see that we've got clusters of nodes down here, and we'll show you a live map in a little bit. But basically, clusters down here, This is being built up. This is a zoomed in picture of it. Here we are in Kennesaw, Marietta. We've got a lot of nodes to our north, a lot of nodes to our south and southeast. Very few nodes west, very few nodes east. As more and more people start using it, you will see more nodes pop up left and right. And you'll be surprised just leaving the node overnight, waking up the next day and you've got 100 nodes that it saw overnight. So it's growing, and the more people, the better it is. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, to introduce it to more people. And hopefully some of you, or all of you, will start putting nodes up and fill in those gaps so that we have a very mature, very rich mesh network. Okay, so what do I need? Let's talk about that. You need a node. You need nodes that will start from pieces that you can buy, components for $30, $40, $50, like Patrick is showing. You just got, it's a board with some antennas hanging out of it. I would recommend you put it into an Altoid tin or something better. But it starts there and it goes all the way up to over $100 for a fully, $100 to $200 for a fully configured, set up, manufactured solar node. Okay. The software for the nodes are free. The software for the device that you're going to use to talk to the node is free. So the only thing you have to spend money on is the actual radio, the actual node. Okay. You can communicate with the node itself. This one I usually carry with me, so if you want to reach me on Meshtastic, you just send a message to that node and I'll get it. Or it could be a phone or a tablet that's connected to it, and that's usually how I interface with it. I'll have this phone connected to this, and think of this as your modem, and this is my communications device. They all work together. You need power for the node, but that could be battery or that could be solar. That could come from the electric grid. I have one node down there that's charging. That can come from that. You can unplug it. It runs off a battery. You can plug a solar panel to it, like you see up here, and it will charge it. I've got 2 solar nodes. They have been running over 6 months. I've never had to plug them in. The battery level on those, even after days and days of rain and cloudy skies, has never dropped below 85, 88%.
How much are the solar nodes?
The solar nodes, you can buy them starting at $99, $100, all the way up to $200.
Amazon?
Amazon, I don't recommend necessarily Amazon. You can buy it from companies like Rack Wireless, R-A-K. They make some.
Just a heads up, if you order straight from Rack, it'll take months to get here. Your U.S. distributor is Rockland.
Rockland?
Yeah.
Rockland.
ROKLAND.
Thank you, that's great.
Okay, what?
R-O-K-L.
L-A-N-D.
And I bought a lot of stuff through Rockland.
Yeah. Rockland is the U.S. distributor. They will resell the Rack. MuziWorks, M-U-Z-I, is here in Atlanta. And Colt, who hopefully will be coming soon, has become a distributor for MuziWorks. So you can get Muzi products from him. I think he's going to bring some even with him. But that's another great, they're the ones that make this. This is my favorite.
How much is that one?
This one I think was $50.
What seeds studio?
Yes.
And the messages come, they don't come on that. That just,
This one does not
On
have,
your cell phone.
yeah, well,
oh, it's an app on your cell phone.
well, this one does not have a display. This one, thank
Little
you,
one.
has a small display on it. So you can read your messages from here. You've got some, Matt, you've got some.
Doing this too. This is a no.
Remember Blackberries?
Yeah, but also has a keyboard, all that.
That's everything.
This is everything. But this wouldn't have the range as what they're talking about the solar node, because the solar node would be up on your roof or outside and all that.
Yes, sir.
Knowing that you're married, did you build one of those solar nodes?
Absolutely. The one that I showed you,
Right.
I built myself.
Okay.
Not necessarily the best, most industrialized, but it works. It's been working for more than 6 months. And that's part of the fun, is knowing what pieces you need and putting them together. And when I say putting them together, it's very simple. It's a couple of wires to connect the battery, a couple of plugs to plug in your Bluetooth, your LoRa antenna, and you're up and running.
Not soldering anything, really.
No, you don't have to. You can. You can solder those, or you can just take electrical tape and wind them together. Again, part of the fun for me is building it and knowing that it works. So I built my first one. I bought my second because I didn't want to go through it again. Okay, I did it. I did it once. It works. I can do it again if I have to. I paid $119 and bought it.
To make it, when you built,
Well, I went a little overboard. So it cost me about $125 for all the parts. I bought one that's almost as good for $119 with zero effort. So solar anywhere from 120 up. I don't know. I haven't
Can I
looked.
interject a little bit?
Yeah, tariffs and
I have a, $45 node at home, but it's not a very good node. The way you do that is you go on Amazon and get a solar yard lamp. You crack that open, it's got a solar panel and a battery, and then you can take a $25, $35 node and tuck it on in there, and you have a minimal solar node. A lot of people are doing stuff like that. You'll see silly little yard lights with antennas sticking out of them.
may I borrow that?
Let's see, yeah.
No, just leave it right there. I'll give it right back to you. So your node can look like this. Okay?
That is a rack whiz block.
Okay, so this is a node. He's got it connected to his phone. The phone is powering it. He's got this is the Bluetooth antenna here, and this is the LoRa antenna up here. And that's it.
And that has seen
Tell us
52.
a what? It's called-
This is the LoRa, the RF antenna, and this is Bluetooth. And some of them have GPS also, so you might see a GPS antenna as well.
It uses the LoRa standard at 900 megahertz.
Right. LoRa is long
Long range.
LoRa. That's what it's called. That's the mechanism. So you could have a node like this. I wouldn't put this outside. I wouldn't recommend it because if it falls, all the connections are there. But
But that's a solar?
This
No.
is just the core. This is like the heart of the device.
yes,
I have one of these tucked into a solar lamp at home, or like a little yard light. It's got a solar panel, and it used to have LEDs inside
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Now it has one of these and an antenna.
creativity. If you're creative, it's great. I talked a little bit about it, but
The
yeah.
other manufacturer is Seed Studios.
Seed.
with 3 E's. Has a solar node that if you want to buy batteries separate for it, and no GPS, it's $80.
What's it called? Three?
Seed Studios with 3 E's and Seed.
SEEED.
C-E-E.
Now they have one that comes with batteries and a GPS and all that stuff on it for like 90, I think, or 100, somewhere
Yep.
in there. But my home GPS, my home solar node, I didn't want GPS on it because I don't need everybody to know where it's at.
Right.
I saw a
So I did.
wristwatch.
Yes, I've got that.
But-
I've got
They're-
it. A
you-
picture
they're-
of
They
it.
have a U.S. Rep. I think they're out of California. It only took like a week for me to get mine.
Yeah.
So, and it's been up now for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Never.
This is a solar?
This is a solar node. It kind of looks like the one up at the top right, something similar to that. It's all self-contained, got a little rubber duck antenna. You just mount it.
$119?
It's under $100. So-
Yeah, they're out there, and I couldn't tell you because I haven't shopped lately what effect, if any, tariffs have had on these things.
I know they on their website it keeps said tariffs included.
Okay.
So
But again, I just gave you a range, 100 to 200. You can get whatever you want, pretty much in that range. And you've seen some. Here's another one with a built-in keyboard. This is one of the solar nodes that we were talking about. This was my first one in the Altoids can. And then this is kind of similar to Patrick's. He just connected these things together and he's got a working node. Okay? So, creativity. And Patrick mentioned repurposing those solar lights, that's great. I've seen people that have used buoys, taking them apart and putting them in there, birdhouses, you name it. This is my other solar node. It's currently sitting on my gutter next to my garage. And I bought this one for $119. It's got the solar panel up here. It's got the antenna. And it's all self-contained. It's got a little plug over here. You unplug it if you want to plug a USB cable into it. I've never had to use it. And that just sits there and runs. Okay. Communications, day-to-day for emergency, that's what Meshtastic is. I liken it to internet back in the 1980s. Dial-up internet, very slow speed. You had those dial-up modems. You could do a lot of things. You can send a lot of messages back and forth, but no graphics, no voice, just basic texting. And that's what this is, basic 1980s BBS internet type stuff, sending text messages back and forth. Because it is a communications protocol, people are building other apps on top of it. There's an app called ATAC. I don't remember what it stands for, but it overlays maps, and it uses the Meshtastic, the LoRa connection, to superimpose your location on the map. So if we're, let's say, on a paintball team, and we're all on the same team, each of us takes one of these, puts them on, on our backpack, and in real time we can be hiding behind trees, we can be looking at the map, and we can see dots where all of us are. We can send messages back and forth, encrypt it. Paramilitary groups are using that too, but it's a way for you to extend Meshtastic through this ATAC app. More apps are coming online. I know people that are building their own apps. There's a bulletin board system that runs using Meshtastic to communicate. There are people that are building their own hardware, like Patrick was showing. There are people that are building their own software on top of that hardware to use Meshtastic. So the sky's the limit. And again, it's all free. It's all public domain. So knock yourself out. And when you have something good, publish it, and other people will use it and help you develop it and make it better. Another area which we haven't talked about is sensors. Let's say you're in a farm and you want to monitor humidity or temperature in your barn where you have your cows or whatever. I don't know. Kentucky, what do you want to monitor in the farm? I mean.
Oh, nothing in the barn. I was told not to let the cows in there. They destroy it.
Well, if you wanted to keep track of temperature.
My puppies.
What's that?
I would love to keep track of my puppies.
Okay, well you can put motion detectors on it, connect it to the nodes, and have it trigger alerts. Again, without internet access or anything.
Could you put something on her collar that has GPS so she could look on a map and just always see where they are?
Absolutely. I'll show you when we get into the configuration. There's a mode that is a tracker mode that is optimized just to send location information. Okay, so that's another area that people are using this for. I already talked about my use case, right? I'm using it for my family. I want to give one to my daughter, I want to give one to my son, my wife, so that we can all keep track of each other no matter what is happening. Fail-safe communications strategies. You know that the sun is in the middle of its solar cycle for the next few years. So solar storms are going to impact potentially satellites, what have you. This is a way around that. Cell and internet, EMP attacks. Yes, sir.
Will survive an EMP, or do we have to replace when an EMP hits?
If I have this on the window, it probably won't survive, but I can put it in a Faraday cage, in a box, and yes, it will. And this is very easy to put in a box. Hello. You here for the Meshtastic?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Have a seat, or if you want to sit over here.
How does it stack up to APRS?
It's very similar to APRS, and there is, I don't know anything about it, but there is a Meshtastic APRS. I don't know if any of you guys.
There is a bunch of stuff going on the ham side. I haven't done a ton of research into it.
Yeah.
They're not cross-compatible, but I know the big difference between this and APRS is APRS is using an audio frequency keying. They're sending an analog signal and playing tones, basically. This uses a very complicated spread spectrum that is part of the LoRa protocol, which is actually underneath Meshtastic. There's a bunch of things that use it that aren't Meshtastic, but it's a very clever way of sliding the frequency in chirps so that you can hear it right at the noise floor. And that's what makes it different than APRS.
And that's what makes it, I mentioned before, it's optimized to work very well when it's a very noisy environment, and that's one of the ways that it does that. But to answer your question, it's very similar to APRS, but you have to be a ham to use APRS. My wife will never use APRS. My daughter will never use APRS, but they will all use Meshtastic to do the same thing. All right, so enough about what it is and how I would use it. How do I start? What's the first thing that I need to do? Get a node. Get 2 nodes, even better. Inexpensive, talked about price, no license. Explore your neighborhood. Leave one at home. Take one, walk around, see what you can hit, see who you can see. There is a, what's it called? There's a, not telemetry, there's a setting you can turn on that will let you have one node at home, let's say, and take another node with you around town, and they ping each other, and they keep track of location.
It's like a range test.
Yes, range test, thank you. And you can go around and you can range test. You turn it on the node, and you take another node around town, and they ping each other, and they note where they are, so that you can see where it stops, and you can kind of map in Google Earth. You can see a real, not a real time, but an actual map showing your location and where your range is, and then it'll help you decide if it's a good location for it or how far you can get,
And
just
then you could
point to point.
know about the relays, you know, where you need relays.
Yeah, well, exactly. Okay, I know I can go out to the mall, so I need to put another node somewhere close to the mall so that I can get beyond it. Okay, so that's the first step, is get at least one node, start exploring and see what you can do. Install one at home, unleash your creative juices. We talked a little bit about that. Build your own nodes. That, to me, that was the best. I'm hitting the microphone. Sorry about that, guys. That was the best way for me to figure out what this thing was about, is and learn to start using it. And just build your own. It's very easy to build. That's all you need. Okay, you need a node and something to poke holes in it, and here's your first node right here with an antenna, and plug it in. Okay. Anybody have a 3D printer? Oh, you're going to be friends to a lot of people. Okay. This is 3D printed. This can clip onto here. This is, all these cases are 3D printed. So if you have a printer, you can build your own cases. This is neat. This I use on my nightstand. Here's the charging cable for this node. This goes right into here. This is 3D printed. Goes right into here. It's on my nightstand, just like that. And then every night when I come home, I just put that in there and it charges. And then in the morning, I just take it out, put it in my pocket. All of these are 3D printed. Yeah, but Ed, I don't have a 3D printer. You have friends that have 3D printers. Buy them lunch and they'll print one out for you. Well, I don't have any friends. Okay, you have a public library. I don't know if it's true in other counties. Cobb County, this library in particular, has a 3D printer. So you find a file online, you download that file, or you buy the file. People will sell you the file. Right. Once you have that file, you can take it here. They will print it for you. They will only charge you for the filament, for the materials. Yes?
STL Finder to get the file.
Where?
STL Finder. It goes out and searches every 3D printer site. It will bring it all into one area and will send you to the right place.
STL Finder, Sierra Tango Lima Finder.
Mm-hmm.
lot of manufacturers have their own files.
And
listed.
again, just like GitHub and the whole nature of this thing, when somebody builds a nice little holder for something,
Yeah, it blows up.
they like to brag, they publish it, they give it to other people, you can download it, and just take it to your library, and they'll print it out for you. You don't have to buy a 3D printer, okay? Creative juices. Repurpose what you have around you to make your nodes. Whether it's a used Altoid tin, whether it's a Pelican case for a solar node. You can buy the enclosures from Amazon. Birdhouses, I've got HOA limitations. If I put one of these things in a birdhouse, nobody's going to know. Routers, that's a good one. This is a really good one. Outdated routers. If you're like me, my basement is full of old wireless, 11G, 11B routers. Well, those are great. Rip them out. Rip out the guts. Put your node in there. They already have the SMA connectors for the antennas, for the Wi-Fi. Reuse that. Great things can be done with what you already have. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I don't want to build things. I want the best and the greatest. The best and the greatest. I'm looking at somebody here in the room. You can do that too. You can spend $200 and get it, or you can spend $30 and get a node and build it yourself. I get a lot of satisfaction out of building it. But this is how you start. Another big one, we're doing this right now. Network with others. Join forums, Facebook pages, groups. Watch YouTube videos. YouTube has thousands of Meshtastic videos, and every time I watch a video, I pick up something. Oh, that's a nice way. I like the way he did that, or I like this, or oh, that's a nice battery that he used. It's better than the one I'm using. So YouTube. Expand, once you have it, expand your mesh network. Create your channels, whether it's for the ERC, whether it's for North Georgia GMRS, whether it's for your church, or what have you. You can expand your reach and create your channel. Organize people. Once you've got it and you're using it, start branching out. Find like-minded folks. Present and talk about Meshtastic like we're doing here. Have regular meetings. Don't just do it once, And I know the ERC is really good with that every Wednesday night. Expand that and have a Meshtastic piece of it. Social media, chat rooms, Discord, Slack, all the tools that are out there. But just be aware, not everybody is going to use those tools. So in addition to that, you still, email is the old-fashioned way to get messages across. Advertise your success. When you do something that's neat, don't just say, oh, wow, that was great. Pat yourself on the back. Share it so that others can recreate it. Others can say, you know what, that's great, but you should have done it this way, or you could have done it this way. It's a little bit better. New nodes, new designs. Share your experiences. Connect with local radio groups, whether it's GMRS, churches, ham groups. Leverage those other groups for potential node sites, right? What do not all, but 99% of amateur radio groups have?
Antennas.
They've got an antenna, they've got a tower, they've got probably a great location for a Meshtastic node. Get them involved, get them excited about it. Explain to them how it's not going to interfere with their 2-meter repeater. Explain to them how they don't need to share their internet. They don't even need to share their power. Just let me put that little box on your tower. Leverage those groups. Connect with local. Here's another one. Local disaster relief agencies. Red Cross, CERT, mutual aid groups, and the local churches and parishes and municipal county agencies. If they knew about Meshtastic, they might be very interested in it. Colt has worked with folks up in North Georgia, like I said before, and he was able to convince local towns and municipalities to put their own nodes up there and use it as that plan E. When everything else isn't working, here's a way that I can reach my residents, my citizens, and tell them about the firehouse that's open that has power. So you can come to this firehouse to charge your phones. You can go to this police station to get emergency water for the town. Lots of things you can do, and I stole this. I stole a lot of these ideas from Austin Mesh out in Texas. They have a great organization. Yes?
Two things. One, can we get a copy of your presentation?
Yeah, yes. Before you leave, tell me which one on that list and I'll send it to you.
Super. And the second part is, I noticed that there seems to be, is this a singular channel device? Because we're talking about doing a mesh.
Nope.
Okay, so I turn on my Amazon Mesh, okay?
Yeah.
For whatever value that is. And so it is capturing multiple channels at the same time, and I can tune
Well-
to particular channels?
Well, it depends. And stay with us until we do the demonstration. I'll show you.
Oh, I promise I'm staying. I promise.
But if you're using channels the way I'm using channels,
Okay.
the answer is yes. You can have multiple channels. You can use multiple channels. They're independent of each other. But you might be using it in a different way.
In Meshtastic, channels and frequencies are not the same thing.
Right. So that's why.
My ignorance is extremely evident.
No, that's a good question. I think we're going to answer it.
Okay.
Stand by. Okay? So, that's that. Coming to the end here. All right, future. I have no idea what's going to happen with this next year, next week, 10 years from now. But here's some ideas. It's going to continue to grow. That's pretty done deal. Everybody's really interested. A year ago, there would have been maybe one or two people here that knew what it was. Now, people are starting to talk about it. It's going to continue to grow. But the bad thing about that is, as it grows, things get congested and it starts to not work as well. So there's a lot of planning, and we'll hit on some of this as we get into the next part of this. New technologies. It is hardware. Next year, there's going to be one that's half this size and twice as strong as this. Embedded nodes. Why can't I have a Meshtastic node be part of my cell phone and have a cell phone that also does Meshtastic? There's no reason. Nobody's done it yet. Perhaps when all of you put nodes up and there's enough demand, people will start doing that. But there's no reason why that can't be done. And I use the phone, but it could be a laptop, it could be a computer, it could be a tablet that also does Meshtastic. You know, emergency comms in a box. You have one tablet that'll do cellular, that'll do Meshtastic. Yes?
Yeah, I also had an idea for a game that would be like a treasure hunt game, but it would work indoors. It's like geocaching. Like you don't need GPS. It would work indoors, so that's something to think about for the future.
Yeah, exactly. So, embedded nodes, aerial drones. Every drone that's flying, there are going to be more and more nodes, more drones in the air. Why not put nodes on them? Satellites? Before you laugh, not that long ago, I would have laughed at having satellites be cell towers. Why would I want a cell tower up in space? Well, it's there now. So why not put a satellite that can also do cell and Meshtastic? Better batteries, that's a given. Every month somebody comes out with a bigger and better battery that lasts twice as long, half the size. So that too. And along with that, lower power nodes. The node that I have, which was one of my first nodes, in here is a Heltec V3 node. It was great. It was about $27 when I bought it. This is a 3D printed case. But it's very power hungry compared to this node. Okay? Not that much difference in size. This node, when I just unplugged it, this will run for about 3 or 4 hours, and then the battery that I have in here will just die. This will run for 2 or 3 days before the battery dies. And this is about a year and a half ago. This is not that long ago. So you can see the big difference. That's going to continue. And then, like I said before, LoRa, it's public domain, and people are enhancing it. People are improving it every day. So we'll see more and more of that. So that's my vision. DIY nodes, excuse me. We talked about it, and these are just some of the ones that I've built. Okay, this is my very first one, similar to what Patrick was showing. This is the box that it comes in. I just took that box, took out a knife, cut 2 holes in it, and put an antenna and power, and started using it. Then after I used it for a while, I said, you know what, this it doesn't stand very well. It opens up all the time. It doesn't protect it much. So I put it inside a shell. I put it inside this tin. And again, cut a hole for the antenna, cut a hole for power, and I had a new and improved node. Okay, this one could drop, this one I could hit, nothing would happen. And that was good, but you know, I got tired of pulling an extension cord around with me to use it. So I took out and put rechargeable batteries. I took the node out from in here, put it on top, and put rechargeable batteries in here so I can charge it. And that worked pretty well. So then this is how it turned out. I put the node up here on a case, and then I used the tin for battery. And I could unplug that, and that was great. 3-4 hours, I could take it with me, and only had to charge it once a day. Then I built, this is the same thing without the battery case. Then I built my first solar node. I bought this enclosure at Amazon, I bought the antenna at Amazon, I bought the solar panel and the node that's inside. And that was my first solar node. So these are all examples of build your own. I don't want to build my own. Okay, this is from RAC. Rockland, again, thank you, Patrick. I forgot about Rockland, the local distributor, the US distributor. They will sell you pre-built nodes. Here's a node that you can carry around with you. It's got a battery, and it's got a big screen. No keyboard, but a big screen. This one is nice. I think there's a couple here. Scott has one here. This one, it uses an e-ink screen, just like your Kindle, your Nook, and it doesn't use power. You can still see the data, but it doesn't use power. It only uses power when it refreshes the screen. So very low power and easy to read outside as well because of the high contrast. I'm sorry?
How long does that last?
What? This?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have one.
The screen or the battery?
The battery on the device.
Mine's about 2.5 days.
The battery?
2.5 days.
Yeah.
Okay? Then here is one of their nodes, which is a solar node. This piece here is the solar panel and the inverter, I'll call it. Here's the node itself with the antenna. Okay? So this collects the sun, charges the node, and it's up and running. And this is the one that I have in my gutter, which is similar. It's all in one. Solar panel here, the node is inside, the plug here for USB if I want to reprogram it or need to reset it or something, and then the antenna. So this one here is some of the stuff you can do your own, build your own. I don't want to do that. Here's some of the stuff you can buy. And then as you go to program it, we'll see this. These are some of the supported nodes. So this is the e-ink screen. This is the one that my first node that I bought. I wouldn't recommend buying these anymore. This is that credit card tracker node. And then you've got other nodes that are solar and so forth. This is the one that looks like the BlackBerry that has the built-in keyboard and screen here. So lots of choices. Here, some more. These are the components. So you can, like Patrick is doing, you can buy these and put them together and build your own node, custom design for what you want. And now we're going to go and do a demo. So this is old. So this was the map, I don't know, at the beginning of the year in this area, and each one of these are nodes. So you can see there's some nodes here clustered together. If this node wanted to talk to these, you can do so very easily. So let me, before we go into the demonstration, lots of information. I've been doing a lot of talking. Let me stop. Any questions before we start showing you how this stuff works? Okay. All right. So what you're seeing here on the screen should be I don't know how I got ATAC going. It started. Okay, let me get rid of ATAC. Okay.
Computers only work when you're not waiting on them.
Yeah. I have my phone connected to it, but it went to sleep. So let me reconnect to it.
Does anyone have a question while we're reconnecting?
A
What
lot
kind
of
of,
questions.
Go ahead, start.
you said, the GMRS versus the Ham group, or everybody else versus the Ham group as far as what kind of power you can use? What power difference are we talking about?
You can use up to 1 watt without a license, and you can use up to 10 watts with a Ham license.
Okay.
But they're two different systems, correct?
They're pretty similar, they're just not allowed to talk to each other. It's one of the rules of ham that it can't carry non-ham traffic.
Gotcha. So 1 versus 10.
And the ham is not encrypted.
The ham is not encrypted.
And you have to have a test to get a license.
So everything that you have placed in gutters and on the solar deck and whatnot, they stay there permanently. You don't, and so you've got them connected to your phone so that you can read the messages and type in messages, etc.
Correct. So the way that it works is, again, think of this as your modem. This is what gives me the connectivity. Some of these have screens. As you can see, this one has a tiny screen. You can't see messages on there. No, not for my eyes. But when I connect to it here, it will show me everything that shows me, and I use this to talk to it. I use this to send messages. I use this to read messages. I can also use this to read and send messages, or a tablet. And I don't know why this is not
You
working.
still have to keep your phone batteried up when everything goes down.
Unless you get a device like
Right. The way that I use it, these two things have to work. That device is an all-in-one. So,
That's everything right there.
But then you leave your house and it goes with you and your house node is moving.
right. What I do,
I have a solar node on my roof.
Yeah.
But the only time I connect it, this connects to it. I don't necessarily use my phone to connect to it. It has a Bluetooth range of Bluetooth. So you walk around and left your phone and your earbuds and you're not getting signal. So it only has a short range. So I use, in my case, I use this to talk to my solar node, because my solar node's up higher, it can see more. If this is in my house, I'm downstairs or something like that, it's not seeing a lot of nodes. It can see a few, but not a lot. So I just use it to kind of connect to my solar node, and then it kind of goes out. I'm almost to the point where if I think my daughters have an old Android phone that I'm going to start putting aside, keeping it charged, but yet in emergency I can grab it, and it's always charged to connect to this and make a call or make a message and stuff like that.
an old phone is a great device to have, whether it's Android
That's what I'm going to do with it.
or an iOS.
Yeah, exactly.
That can be your Meshtastic, dedicated to Meshtastic. And this is, we'll show you on iOS as well, but this is my Android phone that you can see on the screen now that I got it reconnected. So this is me on my phone, and you'll see here, there's a Meshtastic app. So this Meshtastic app this is what it looks like on Android. Okay? iPhone is a little bit different, but let's see, let's do this. Okay, here's the main screen. Down here, and I'll point with the laser. Right here, first of all, this is my node, KQ4 Web Tracker. That's this little guy here that I'm connected to from my phone. Okay. These are the different ways I can connect. Right now I'm connected via Bluetooth. So I don't need any infrastructure at all. I just need Bluetooth to talk to it. These are all the different nodes that I've connected to before. And then if I go down to the bottom here, this is the messages tab. These are the different channels that I have, okay? So we were talking about channels, okay? This long fast channel, that's the primary channel. I'll switch to it. That's what everybody's using. These are the messages that are going back and forth on that long fast channel. Hi, Mountain Mesh from Frontier Flight 3511. That's what I was telling you about. Okay? Altitude, Atlanta at 14,000 feet, and this guy's sending Meshtastic messages. These are responses. Testing from Burnt Mountain and Jasper. These are all messages that I received on that main channel, the long fast channel.
When you received that from the pink one there, is that from Jasper? Is that a direct connect, or is that routed through?
No, you see right here? This happened to be 3 hops away.
Okay.
So it bounced across multiple nodes to get there and to come to me. Okay?
And he's part of that group that you have.
Yep, he was in that map. He was on that map. But I'll show you one that's not. Okay, so these are messages. So how do I send a message? I go down here, just like on my phone. If you can send a message on your Android or your iPhone, you can send a Meshtastic message. Hello, Mesh World, right? Boom. It's going out. And there it is. This is my node. Hello, Mesh World. You hear that? That's probably some people around here getting it. Yeah. Okay? So if you have your node set up and your node is up, you saw it. And there you go. Hey, Ed. Hi, Ed. I'm on the screen. We're messaging back and forth. These are all direct. We're all in the same room. You know, that's stupid to do this, but for a demo, we're doing it. You can see how it works, right? We're in the same room. We could be 5 miles away, 10 miles away. Okay, so these are the messages.
Is 10 miles about the greatest distance?
It all depends where you are. If you're on top of a mountain, 20 miles, 30 miles. If you're in the middle of the city, you're lucky if you get 1 mile.
It's comparable to a kid's walkie-talkie in the city
Yeah.
or the urban area.
What's that again?
Louder, Scott.
Comparable to a kid's walkie-talkie.
Yeah, think of it as a walkie-talkie
In downtown.
in downtown.
In the urban area.
I know in Cartersville, when I'm at work, I could hit the Mount Alto with no hops, and that's 27 miles.
Yeah, 27 miles, but that's on
That's at 1,600 feet.
1,600 feet. And so it depends on location and distance and power, in that order.
I just got one hop to Pine Mountain for a little while.
I was straight to Sweetie Mountain for a minute or two earlier.
Yep.
Even with this little antenna.
So it all depends. Yes.
So as you're saying, APRS and Meshtastic can't work together, but can you use Meshtastic over the GMRS?
No.
Okay.
It runs on the 900 megahertz.
It uses its own.
So there's no way to
No.
use it with radios?
No, it's illegal to cross band and do anything across.
Are
Okay.
there any rules with, ham radio, you identify yourself and, you just talk?
Just talk. No license. Doesn't matter.
This long fast reminds me of the first chat rooms were available. It's just people just blah, 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 talking all day long in that scenario.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
why
decide what your station comes up as. You could put
Yes.
anything.
You're going to see that.
It's about like MRS. There's no rule.
Yeah.
Identify yourself for MRS.
There's no rules. You call
Unless
yourself.
you know that person's name and their node name, you don't have a clue who that is,
Yeah.
Or where they are?
or where they are.
Unless they tell you.
Yeah. And you call your node whatever you want.
Literally, anything you
I-
want.
One
I have-
was called Yo Mama. I remember.
Yeah, Yo Mama was there, yeah. My node in the attic is called Doge. I figured that would get attention. Somebody, I got to click on that. I got to see what that's about. You can call it whatever you want.
But to drill down, like you said, there's other channels. You can make your own channel. This is just like a group channel.
And that's what you see here. So this particular node, these are the channels that I have on it, okay? So,
Can I just, real quick, these channels are not RF channels.
no,
LoRa, underneath Meshtastic, has its own RF channels that are not the same as these channels. These are more like group chats. That's just
Chat rooms.
Meshtastic used the word channels.
And so that's
They're not
independent of
They're
the being able to
groups.
talk on over, you know, if it decides, okay, I'm going to go out on the internet or.
I know we've got ERC members here.
One more of those.
ERC can create an ERC channel.
What's an ERC?
Emergency Response Communications, is that right? There's a net. Go ahead, explain
Say
it.
that again?
No, the question was, what is the ERC?
What is it?
Yeah,
Oh, it's emergency response communication.
Okay.
it's a group. They have a net.
Raise your
Wednesday-
hand if you're part of it. Well, so we got a couple of folks.
You could create your own ERC channel. And that's what I have here. And this node has these channels. This long fast, that comes by default. You can keep it or you can delete it. I would keep it. Just that's everybody in the world that uses Meshtastic uses that. This is a particular node direct message from one node to another. North Georgia Mesh is one that I created, and we'll share with you how to get on it and put it on your nodes. And that could be our channel to talk to other people from the GMRS, North Georgia GMRS group.
But anyone in the world can get on these.
No, he's got a little lock symbol.
Oh, you got a lock on
The
it?
lock just means that it can be encrypted. So like, see how long fast has the open lock? That's because it's not actually sending those messages encrypted.
No encryption here. This is a channel that I created with some hams here in Kennesaw, Big Shanty repeater group, and we chose not to have our communications encrypted.
But the two green ones that are locked are encrypted.
These use encryption.
Those are locked.
Those are, yeah, you have to have,
He has to share a key, a code.
we'll show you. We'll show you all that.
Receive that and get that.
But these are all channels. So this channel goes out to everybody in the world. You saw when I sent a message in long fast, a bunch of these started beeping because everybody had it. This one, you're only going to have it if I give it to you. This one is only for my family. I created that for my wife and kids. And this is a bunch of ham friends that we have going here. Yes?
So it's limited to your family, but they are using nodes here, there, and yon.
When we're communicating in this restricted channel that is encrypted, we're sending messages. We're too far away from each other. I'm sending it bing, 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 and it gets there. Each of you touch the message, take it, and pass it on, but it's encrypted. You don't see it. You can't break into it. It's encrypted. Now, it's encrypted. You can't break into it. Yeah, you can. Anything. You can break any encryption, but it's encrypted. It's
So
tough.
as long as you're not doing serious crimes, you really don't have anything to worry about. But,
Yeah.
So just don't do crime.
Yeah.
Don't talk about them.
So, someone who has a deep security clearance, would they be allowed to use Meshtastic?
You'd be allowed to use it, they just wouldn't be able to bring it into the
Yeah.
system.
It wouldn't be secure.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be considered secure enough now.
Oops, I'm
His
sorry.
family one's kind of like, you have a group chat, I'm sure, with all your families on it, when
Yeah.
that's what it is for him.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
So-
don't-
Well, the government just went through a big hoop-de-doo about that, about 5 months ago, where they were using a system,
Oh, yeah. Signal? Signal?
right? Yeah,
Different
Signal.
app, Signal
Yeah.
app.
So same basic thought process.
Yeah.
That fair to say, Patrick?
I think so.
So this is North Georgia Mesh.
RF into the secure areas.
There's a node out there called Topher 1, right?
It's called what?
Topher 1, that's the name of that node. So I communicated with that node. I got a test. I got your test. Are you getting mine? Hello from Kennesaw. That's on the North Georgia Mesh channel. So anybody that has that channel set up would have seen this message. Anybody that has a node would have seen this message on long fast. Only my 2 kids and my wife will see messages that I send here. And only my ham friends in the Big Shanty repeater group will see the messages here.
But it's
Thi-
open, but that one is open.
Yeah, but you have to know how to, you have to have the code to set up the channel to be able to use it. Okay, this is a message direct from one node to another. So only 2 people saw this message. The person that sent it and the person that received it. So, back to your question. These are channels. So when we say channels, this is what we're talking about, chat groups. Not frequencies, not anything else.
Yeah, the word channel is kind of deceiving.
Yeah, and the word router is another one. But, okay, so that's this tab. That's where you get all your messages. And you'll see, well, they're gone now because I opened them, but over here you'll see the number 1, 2, 3, or 4 if you have new messages that you haven't seen. Again, just like your phone. Okay? This is the node tab right here. And again, it's going to look different in iOS. So if you have iOS, stand by. Scott will show you the same thing in iOS in a minute. But if you have an Android phone, sorry, every time I twist my phone. Okay, so these are the nodes that my node here is seeing at the moment. You'll notice some of these nodes down here. This one named Angela. I'll bet you somebody named Angela has this node. She's 3 hops away from me, approximately 11 miles away. Her battery is at 96%, 4 volts. And if I click on her, it opens up and it gives me her latitude, longitude. She's running client mode. It's a T-beam node. It's the kind of node that it is, and it gives me the altitude. All these things are kind of sort of accurate, but they don't have to be. I can turn them on and off. I can use a fixed location, which is what I do. I don't want, no offense, I don't want you to know where I live. And if I put my node in my attic, I don't want you to say, oh, that's where Ed lives. I'll tell you where I live. I just
like the ambiguity setting on APRS.
Right.
Correct.
You
But
can set.
also set a fixed location, but what is it, the word? It's not an exact location.
Yeah.
It's within like a mile.
You can set it within 500 feet, 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet of where it actually is located. And that's what I do. I do a fixed position. I went to Google Earth. I got the latitude, longitude of the main intersection in my development. And if you look me up, it'll say my node it's close. It's within 2 blocks of where I live, but it's the middle of the intersection, middle of the street. Okay? So, but Angela says that she's 11 miles away. Okay, if I click on, let me go back. If I push this Angie button, it takes me more detail. So this is the kind of node that she has, LilyGo T-beam, and I think we've got a T-beam here, so it's like the one that Scott is showing. The long name that she put on the node is Angela. The short name is ANGE. This name shows up in that little box, and this is the full name of the node. She has it set up as a client, which is good. It's been up for 30 days. It was last heard 40 minutes ago by my node, 11 miles away, and it last updated its position 40 minutes. I've got other actions here which we'll go into, but for now, let me go back. Again, these are all the nodes. So you can see this one's 2 hops away, 3 hops away, and so forth. But if I go up here, I see some nodes that look a little different. They have a signal icon here. They have a RSSI, relative signal strength indicator, a signal to noise ratio. These are nodes. These are nodes that I'm talking to directly. These are nodes that are here in this room. Okay?
One, no bounds, just direct.
I'm sorry?
No bounds, just direct.
No bounds, yeah. If I see the signal right here. This is my just like on a cell phone. Here's my strength indicator. Here's my signal to these nodes.
Like that K4KOP is me, but it shows 1.2 miles away. That's because I have my settings to now be accurate.
Right. He doesn't have an exact location set. He's got it set up so if you look at a map, it would show a circle. He'd be within that 1 mile circle. Okay? So these nodes I can get directly. So for example, let's use Mark as an example. Mark, I go in here. This is your node, Heltec T114. Here's all the information about him. And I can click over here, direct message. Hi, Mark. Sent. Now look over here, right there. See that check mark? It showed me that he received it. Yep. So now he got it. And if you just want to reply back. Now I think I have mine silent. I don't want this thing beeping at me. But you can set it up. By default, it'll beep, just like a new text message, but it'll show. There he goes. He just replied, "Hello, Ed." And that's as easy as it gets. So now if I go back, where am I going? If I go back to my channels, I now have another channel that this is a direct connection to Mark. Okay? So he just added that to my list. So now if I come back here and go back into Mark, I can share contact. So see this icon, this QR code? Somebody can scan it with Meshtastic and add Mark's node to your node list. We did the direct message. Exchange position just updates our relative locations. And then user information. But I can do a trace route. So I clicked over here on trace route. And here's my trace route to Mark. Not very exciting. This is my node, direct to his, and then he's able to respond back to me. So if I pick another node, let me see.
You got any 7 hops in there?
Yeah, I'm going to go to, let's see, let's find one. Okay, I'm going to try to go to my node. Okay, there's Sweat Mountain. I'll do Sweat Mountain. Let's try that. This may or may not work. Let's see. Okay, there's Sweat Mountain. There's the kind of node that it is. It is a router. So this is sitting on top of Sweat Mountain, whatever elevation. Last heard 13 minutes ago. I'm going to do a trace route to it. Push the button here. It's going to take longer. It's sending it out. It's not bing, bing. It's going out through the mesh, and it's trying to find a route to Sweat Mountain. While it's doing that, it's pinging all the other nodes, and those nodes are saying, no, I don't know how to get to it, send it out, and eventually it's going to get to Sweat Mountain. Now, 2 things about trace routes. You can only do one every 30 seconds, so that one failed. It's very low priority traffic on the network. So if it fails one time, try it again. Sometimes it'll take 2 or 3 tries. Sometimes it won't work at all. But this is how you find out if you can reach that node and so forth. So I'll try it one more time and see if it.
That's why you buy 2, you put one somewhere, and then you come back and trace it.
Yes. Well, no, this is the trace route. The range test is different. The range test kind of does it automatically. You don't have to do this. You can just take one node and drive around, and every 30 seconds or 60 seconds it gets its position and tells you how well it communicated. So it's probably not going to work from here. I don't know. Probably if I put it by the window, it might work. But you can see the difference in the time that it's taking from the first time that I did a trace route to Mark to trying to trace route this node that's in Sweat Mountain. Yeah, it's not going to work. Sometimes it pops in, but sometimes it doesn't. So that's that. Here's the map from my phone. Okay, so all these nodes that you see here, all these nodes, here's where Meshtastic thinks they are. So I'm going to zoom in on Atlanta. There's 43 nodes.
Now, is that just the groups you have programmed in your?
No, that's everything that I'm able to see right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to zoom in.
What if I want to talk to my nephew in Iowa?
What's that?
Could I talk to my nephew in Iowa?
I know, I have one.
Or is that too far?
Probably not. That's going to be hard because there is a limit of how many hops so that these messages aren't continuously bouncing around.
Okay.
You set a limit, 3, 5, 7 hops. Mm-hmm. So if you can't get to it in 3 hops or 5 hops or 7 hops, it dies. Okay. Now, if you want to talk to your nephew in Iowa, get a node, put it on MQQT on the internet, and have him do the same thing, and now you can talk to each other. But kind of defeating the purpose, maybe. If you want to have it for an emergency, then you have to have internet and he has to have internet. But yes, you can do it. So you know, I'm going to zoom in, and you can zoom in all the way. This is where the people that own these nodes have said that their nodes are. Is it real? I don't know. It could be within a mile of that. If I look at marks, it may not show that it's here, but it'll show within that. This one is pretty accurate. I know this particular node, and it's on downtown Kennesaw, and he's got it on the roof of that building. It's an apartment building. Put it on the roof on a pipe, tied it to a pipe. It's a solar node, and it's been working for quite a while. Last heard 38 minutes ago, solar, and it's 85% charged.
So you just hide them different places and
You can.
hopefully
You,
go there?
you can, or you can get permission. He got permission from I think he got permission from the landlord.
At least that's what he said.
Yeah, I don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell.
Right.
He put it up on the roof. Yes.
Yeah, no, great one. One of the things I noticed when we were reading the thing coming over the Facebook page is there would be some here to purchase.
Yes, Colt. He had an accident on the way
He
here.
had an accident. He wasn't held up by traffic. He had
No,
an accident.
he had sideswiped. He got sideswiped.
Oh, shoot.
But he is coming. He was filling out the police report, and he said he was coming.
May he still come, please?
He is still coming, and he is bringing.
So the higher the node, the better. The
Yes.
higher the
Just, yeah, like all RF,
drone
yeah.
or
Like the
Yeah, people have them on drones.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're talking about physical location, if it's placed higher, you have a better range?
Correct.
Like you want your antenna higher.
That's what happened to him today on the way here.
Oh, crud.
It wasn't bad, but
So he didn't blow an airbag?
it's going to delay him.
And the equipment in his car is fine.
Yes, yeah, yes. I didn't ask about the nodes.
I was thinking we could all go to the side of the crash and just pick up some notes. Like
Yeah, pick him up on the side of the road.
Is he bringing enough for us to all buy a couple?
I think, don't quote me, I think he said he's got 50.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, now we're talking.
next tab over.
You had a question.
Oh,
I was just wondering about, she was commenting, you know, how do you position this, your node, you know, something you have it on top of your house. And I said, the higher you get, the better. And she said, line of sight. And it's not exactly line of sight. You can bend around a little bit, but pretty much it's line of sight.
yeah, you use what, GMRS?
Ham.
Ham? So the same thing. I mean,
But it's
line of sight for RF, this is RF. It's the same thing, just 900 megahertz
okay.
versus 400.
Megahertz goes through trees a lot
Yeah.
better than any
Trees and
amperage.
metal.
So it goes through metal.
this goes
Metal.
to trees better.
A whole lot better. But it doesn't
A lot
go
better
very
than-
far.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the idea of having, a lot of people having these, is they hop off
It's
each
better,
other.
it's better.
But
Right.
for, expanding your reach,
Right.
just like Ham, just like GMRS, location,
Location.
how good is your antenna, and how much power. Power is probably the least of the three. If you've got a good antenna and a good location, you're going to get further than a high-powered.
Okay. Then, my house is in a little bit of a hole, but I just put a halyard up in a tree 100 feet, and that puts it in line with the local ridge.
Yeah.
The topography where I am.
That's-
Put it in line, so I'm thinking if I have it up there, I could get out.
And no interference between the 900 megahertz and the, what do you use, HF?
Well,
Two.
144.
But a tree node, a solar tree node would be good. There's a gentleman local here, Walt Hooper. He's built nodes. He bought a bunch of buoys that float in the ocean, with he took them apart, and he's got small solar panels all the way around, so it doesn't matter which way it's facing. And he hauls it up in a tree, and inside the buoy, waterproof, is the node.
Wow.
So, again, creativity. Look at YouTube. Talk to people. Form your groups. Talk to each other. Great ideas. You had your node that.
This is a Walt Hooper node.
That's a what?
It's a prototype 1 watt
May I?
power node. Look, it says W.E. Hooper right there on the board.
Yeah, Walt has his boards made up. He designs them. This is
It's a Luckbox Pico with a custom hat that Walt designed and had made.
it runs Meshtastic. You put a little case in this, and you've got a 1 watt node. Put this inside
What
of
does one node mean?
1 watt.
1 watt. Sorry.
Most of them are around 500 milliwatt. Half of this is a high-powered node. It fits inside a buoy.
This one's designed to be a solar tower node that still runs at 1 watt, and it's a prototype.
How much you sell them?
I don't. I am testing this prototype for the guy who designed it.
How's it working out?
I haven't finished the case, so it hasn't been on the air yet.
Can you,
What kind of
Can you
money
not
is he asking?
I'm not sure.
He's giving away, he's giving away prototypes for free pretty much, I think half one. I've got another one over there on the window, so.
To kind
If you just get a chance to meet him. I call him the Johnny Appleseed of
Yeah. Walt Hooper. He's down in Atlanta. He's part of Mountain Mesh, the group that's in the north.
If you get on the Mountain Mesh Discord, you can get in touch with him directly.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Mountain Mesh?
Mountain Mesh.
MTN.sh.
Yep. MTNME. I always get it mixed up. Go ahead. MTNME.sh. That's the website.
Yeah, and we should show that.
We're going to show that.
And that's on what, Discord?
MTNME.sh. Go there. No, that's his webpage. Yeah, they have a Discord channel too.
It will link you to the Discord.
Yeah, and we'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so this is it. Let's go, Scott. If you can, you ready?
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah. Why don't you show? Let's switch. So this is what it looks like on Android. So all you Android people, this is what you use, and then this is the same thing on your iPhone.
could I ask, would it be possible to take about a 5-minute break just to
Yes.
stretch legs and stuff?
Yes. Go ahead. Let's do it now while we get. Are you? Oh, you're not connected, are you? Is your phone connected to it?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. No, because it wasn't pulling it up. Yeah. Let's take 5 minutes. It's 2:55, 3 o'clock. We'll start over again.
Okay, I erased my notes in case anybody wanted to use them as loaners, but I think what I want to do is to show kind of the whole life cycle, you know, what happens with the node when you first pull it out of the box. The other thing I want to say about iOS is they had a major revamp to the iOS app just a couple of days ago, and it looks radically different than it did. So if I had prepared a bunch of screenshots from last week, I'd have to throw them away because it's a good thing that I didn't, because everything's changed. And so I may even have a moment of confusion where I'm like, where do they move this thing to? But when you get a new node, you're going to have to if you have more than one, you're going to have to figure out which one you're trying to hook up to. So this one happens to have a screen, and I'll do this to show it to you. And so there's a couple things on the screen, and what really matters here is this E101, because when I turn this on and I'm trying to pair up to it, the first thing I need to do is to pair up in Bluetooth. And I need to know which node I'm going to pair to, and it turns out that this E101 is going to be important. So I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to...
Where does it say email over?
It's up in the upper right. It'll go away now, and it'll come back. See, E101, it's on the upper right. So that's going to be important. It does say unset. That means that this is the first time because I wiped it just so I could demo, you know, what it's like when you're setting up a brand new node. So,
Linking it to your phone or to a node there?
I'm sorry, what?
What exactly are you doing?
I'm just turning this on, and showing you the screen.
Okay.
Not all nodes have screens, but this one does. So I'm going to go into the Meshtastic app. And what I need to do, I'm connected to another node, so I'm going to have to turn that off, disconnect the node, and I'm going to look for this E101. Notice the E101 that I showed you before. Here it is in my list. So if I have more than one node, I need to know that I'm connecting to the right one. So let's connect to that node. And what you're going to get is this Bluetooth pairing request. Now, in order to do this, you're going to have to transfer a pairing number from the device to your phone. So let me go back to the screen here. I may have to do, I have to do this more than once. Okay. We're going to connect, we're going to get this pairing request, and oh, that went away quick. And it's going to show a number on the screen. The number is flashing by so quickly that I have a hard time showing it to you, but I'm going to make it flash again. And I got the number 668570. And then I hit pair, and then I'm going to pair. And once I do that, and that by the way, that code was displayed on the screen, but it was going by so fast I didn't have a chance to show it to you. But you might ask, if you have a node that doesn't have a screen, what do you do? In that case, it usually uses the default code 123456. So that's pretty easy to remember. If you don't want that code, to stay that way, you can actually connect your node to a laptop and change it, but that's a more advanced topic. I'm not going to show that right now. But as we said, you'll need to set your LoRa region, and the legal region that you can use here is the United States. If you use a non-United States region, it's not licensed for that, so you've got maybe an FCC problem, so please choose United States. And we're going to leave the other presets the same, since this is kind of beginner, and I'm just going to hit save. And then save config. And then this. Now what's going to happen is almost every time I make a configuration change, the device itself is going to reboot. So it's booting right now. And when it's done with the reboot cycle, the screen will clear and the screen will come back with something else, and then it will reconnect in the USA mode. So it'll be using USA frequencies in the USA mode. And we are now connected in the USA mode. Okay, once we get connected, probably the first thing we might want to do is to change the name of the node. So it will have a default name. Is this Meshtastic E101? Let's just say I want to change it to Scott's node. And then a short name. Well, the short name can be up to 4 characters, but as I recently learned, it can also be emoji. So, so you can also set it up to emoji. Let me see if I can find this quickly. Okay, we'll use the nerd emoji, and we'll save it. And pretty much every time you make a configuration change, most configuration changes, it will have to reboot. So you'll have to sit there and wait about 30, 45 seconds while it reboots. And it will come back up. It's rebooting. And then once you see the regular screen return, you should be able to pick it up. Well, here's Scott's node, and you see the emoji. So we've changed that. There are some other settings you might want to change. One of the things I probably will change is the hop count, and I need to find it. Might be in device. Let me see. As I said, they moved some things around, so I have to hunt. And if I can't find it, I'm just probably going to move on. But I want to change the hop count. The hop count usually
in the
defaults to,
config.
it's in,
Radio configure at the top of Laurel.
okay. Laura,
Yeah, scroll it right there, preset, you just passed it. So it's long, fast, right in the middle.
yeah, okay.
If you touch it, then it drops down.
Slide
the
it,
menu.
you scroll down a little.
I'm looking for the number of hops.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here it is. I want to change this hops to 7. This is to be able to increase your reach, because you don't have an infinite number of hops. Your messages will eventually time out, but you get more reach if you increase your hops. You may also increase your traffic if you increase your hops. So if you're getting too much traffic from too far away, you could turn it down. You could also turn it to 0 if you didn't want it to hop at all. For instance, if you just wanted to use them in a local area and you didn't really want to talk to the rest of the mesh, you could do that as well. So I'm going to save this, and it might reboot again. Let's see if it does. It might not.
Scott, can you talk about the different modes, client versus router versus?
Okay. Let's see.
So how do we get, I've got Meshtastic on here, now what do I do next?
We have a list of possible client roles. These are actually called client roles. The default client role is called client, and that's the one that you would normally use out of the box. There's another role called client mute, and client mute means that we can use it as a regular client, but it doesn't pass other people's messages. So normally every node is a repeater. But that's a way to turn off the repeater function, so that it's a way to kind of be selfish, in a way, so that you're not going to pass other people's messages. But there's a good reason to use it, because a lot of advanced Meshtastic users will have a node that's very high up, and that will be their client, and then they'll have another node in their house, and that's their client mute. So it's very common that you use client mute when you have a client somewhere else that's nearby, and you don't need your second node, your closest node, to pass on messages, because you've got another node that's high up somewhere that's already passing messages. I'm not going to go through all of these because they're pretty advanced, but there's repeater and router too, which you don't normally want to use unless you have unless you're really like living on a mountaintop and you want to provide a service for everybody else. But it's actually creating unnecessary traffic and creating problems if you use that, and you really shouldn't. So I suggest either client or client mute pretty much 90%, 90, 95, 98% of the time.
If I could add, so in my case, I have a node on top of Pine Mountain that's set as a router. And I have a node on the top of my attic. I set that as a client. And I have my tracker and the nodes that I carry around with me, I set those as client mute. And the way that I think about it is, if my node is going to enhance the ability of the net, if it's going to be in a high place, it's going to reach lots of people, then that might be a good node to use as a router. There's also router weight, and there's also repeater. And there's some nuances that you'd have to research, but those would be good use cases for routers or repeaters or router weight. The node in my attic is going to benefit me, not Patrick, not you. So I set that up as a client. It'll do everything that the router will do, but it's not going to eat up hop counts. It's not going to saturate the network as much. And then the ones that I carry with me, when it's in my pocket, it's really not going to help many people, so I set that as client mute. So that's the way I kind of think it and rationalize router versus client versus something else.
Now that one that you've got in your pocket, where did you get that?
You steal it?
Oh, no, I would like to, but no, I'm too honest.
Okay, I want to go over the channels just briefly.
Where did you?
Go ahead.
Where do you find? Because that's obviously.
The guy has it.
He's going to bring some with him.
Okay. About $50.
Okay. So we do have a channel that is, the NG Mesh channel is for all of North Georgia GMRS. And we probably wouldn't throw a fit if somebody that knows somebody in North Georgia GMRS were to join in on there. But I want to show you how to set that up.
We do that with a QR code, and if you could please hand me that piece of paper. I got it. That would help. So if you if somebody else has set up a channel for you, and they've given you a QR code, you can scan that code and it will go into the channel. But it's important to know that you don't go into the Meshtastic app to do that. The initial scan needs to be with a camera app. So you start with a camera app, you point at this nice code, and then you'll see this little sort of yellowish Meshtastic icon. This takes you, you tap that, and this takes you to the Meshtastic app, and then it says add channels. And so if you hit save, at that point, come on, failed to save channel. Well, normally it would work.
Now, Android is different.
Oh, okay, it did save it, but it saved it twice, so I didn't want it in here twice.
One
But
second.
We'll share the QR code with everybody before you leave.
Is it an Android QR code or?
It just points you to Meshtastic.
Well,
It'll
we
work
did
on
a few
anything.
for a radio club, and one worked for Android, one only worked for
No,
Apple. That
Same,
was-
it's different. The way you scan it
Was
is
weird.
different between Android
Yours go
and,
through, mine failed.
and iOS.
yeah, I think maybe there may be an incompatibility because the app changed just in the last couple of days. So I haven't really tested this one out yet. So I see it here twice, and it should be the right channel. But I need to test it some more. So I want to go through the icons on the bottom. If you go into the messaging icon, you'll see channel 0 is the channel that everybody shares. So this is like the party line. If you send a message on channel 0, it's going out to everyone.
That's that little fast channel.
And I was actually able to send a message on this channel last Tuesday when I was at Old Town and receive it 26 miles away with another node that I left at home, which is south of Decatur. So it's got very broad reach, and it will try to traverse the entire network that it can see. And here's your NG Mesh channel. If you send a message here, remember this is like a chat room, not like a frequency. It will only reach the people that have this NG Mesh channel on their Meshtastic node. So it is kind of like a private channel. This one does have, and there we get a message. This is encrypted as well. So this is how you get your encryption function, because you won't get that on channel 0.
Where do you see that?
You go in the channels, and I accidentally added NG Mesh twice here, but you'll see it here. NG Mesh channel 1 is that sort of private-ish channel because it's encrypted. And if I type hello back, I'm actually sending on that channel, and it'll say waiting to be acknowledged, and then it will wait for another node to say, yeah, I got that back.
How did you make it encrypted?
That happened when the channel was created, so that's a channel creation mode. If you go back, you have to go into settings, channels, add channel, and then you've got a choice of key size here. And so you can set, 128-bit or 256-bit. Obviously, 1 byte is that's a pretty small one. But if you set empty or default, then you really have no meaningful encryption. So that's a way to do it without the encryption. But then you would put in a channel name. And then once you do that, you'd be able to generate a QR code for other people. All right. Okay, so to go through the icons on the bottom, the one on the bottom left is messages. This has channels, and this is where your individual channels are, and then direct messages. This allows you to send to other nodes. So this is a direct message to another node that happens. And this can be either a direct communication, or it could be reflected through other nodes or repeated through other nodes. So either way, as you collect nodes, you'll see more and more options here for more and more nodes that you can send to. The Connect icon is the second icon on the bottom. This is your Bluetooth management, and you're going to see that here I'm connected to Scott's node. If you on iOS only, this doesn't happen on Android. If you want to get back to your list of nodes, you swipe to the left, and then you've got a disconnect option, and then you can see all the nodes, the other nodes that you can connect to. But these are all the Bluetooth connections. So I want to get back to where I was.
I have a star, but I have no nodes. Did I accidentally connect?
That is probably the most recently connected node.
Star on mine means favorites.
Right.
Why is it a favorite? I didn't do anything.
Well, there's a little icon that says favorite. You can make it a favorite.
I think you can either make it or it can show you what you most recently connected to.
Favorite it? Because I have no idea where it is.
Well, I think you would do that by switching to another node. The third icon here on the bottom, well, okay, I'll take a minute here.
I'm in your way.
Just kind of showed
I
up.
don't know about on the Bluetooth side.
Okay, yeah, I can come back and look at that with you in a minute.
All right.
The third icon on the bottom is nodes, and if you're in the ham radio world, this is essentially your QSOs. And it's a little bit like Whisper, you know, it goes out and it makes contacts automatically. So these make contacts automatically. You can find out information about your own node, which is usually at the top. And it's got the environmental information and other information. And then you select another node and it will tell you about the remote node. And if the node has sensors on it, like environmental sensors, then it will show that to you. But in this case, it says there's an Apple weather icon. That means that it used the location of the node and it got a weather report from the internet as opposed to actually getting sensor data. So you have to look for, if you see that little Apple icon, that tells you that it didn't come from a sensor. It came from the internet. And you also see on this list, you see hops away. So that's the number of hops that you have to traverse to get to that node. And if you see a bar like this, signal good, this means that you have direct connection to that node and you're not going through hops. So this tells you what kind of signal you're getting on that direct connection. Now I'll switch over to the map. And the map shows where we're seeing things. These are nodes that you have either direct or indirect connections to. Notice that we've got one up here in Tennessee, and it's probably because we're hitting something that's on a high altitude and we're able to reach from there all the way into the next state. But I've seen on this map, I've seen as far away as South Georgia and as far away as West Alabama and maybe even a little bit past Charlotte into North Carolina. So it's got some pretty incredible reach. Sometimes it's because we have these mountains and we've got a lot of nodes up there now compared to even a year or two ago. And they're bouncing signal off of all kinds of places. So the reach is pretty incredible. And then the last one is the settings. We've been there before, and so I'm not going to go through every setting here, but we showed you the basics, which is basically setting the name and setting the hop count. So
Where do you set the hop count?
we were just there. Let's see. It's in LoRa and number of hops, which is kind of in the center. And so increasing that, it could increase congestion, but it also increases your reach. But there may be cases where you don't want to talk to the mesh around you. Maybe you're just using it for local around the yard or for something. Or maybe you're trying to get sensor data like telemetry, like temperature and humidity from your barn into your house. And in that case, you don't really need to send it out on the mesh. You could turn this down to 0 if you wanted to.
So all we have to do is put one of these in the barn.
Yeah, with the temperature sensor, and then you need another one in the house. Okay, and then you've got another one in the house, and then they can talk to each other, and you can talk to the one in the house with Bluetooth, and then you get that temperature and humidity if you've got humidity on it as well. Let me go back to mine. This one does have temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure on it.
I'm
So
going to ask the recursive three-letter word, how do I connect the temperature sensor to my...
there is an environmental option in settings. First of all, it has to actually be installed in the device. You can buy nodes that have them and nodes that don't have them. So you need to make sure that you've got a node that has it. A common chip, there's a BME. These environmental chips typically start with BME. There's a BME 280 and a BME 6 something. But look for those chipsets in there. And then you'll have to go into, I think is it telemetry, environmental metrics, and make sure that it's enabled. In this case, it is enabled, but if you disabled it, then you might have the temperature sensor in there and it's not actually using it. So make sure it's enabled, and that's going to be under your telemetry option.
So, the solar ones, the solar thingy,
Yeah.
does that normally come with an environmental chip installed?
It depends on what you're using for the node, like Scott was saying. You can buy some that have it, but if you're going to put it in as a solar node outside, if your node is going to be inside an enclosure, it's not going to give you an accurate.
Yeah, the
reading, so you
solar
want external sensors.
panel is going to get hot, and it's not going to be an accurate temperature reading.
I got you.
But there are ways that you can. Go
An
ahead.
easy answer real quick. I really like the rack Viz block because this little baseboard has basically module slots. So you would just go, oh, that's the temperature sensor, and you would click into one of these extra slots. It also has a GPS option. It's like little Lego bricks. Even
Yeah.
the core is plugged into this baseboard. I have like a mini baseboard that would cut off this whole half if I wanted a mini one.
Yeah, they're like Lego bricks that have tiny little screws, and
Little mini screws.
the maddening thing is losing the screws, but if you manage to get the screw installed properly, yeah, you can just pick the options that you want. If you don't want a GPS, the GPS is the thing that seems to work, and that setup that seems to use the most power. So if you want to preserve the power and your barn doesn't move, you don't have a lot of seismic activity, your barn doesn't move frequently, then maybe you don't need a GPS on it, maybe you just need a temperature sensor. And the temperature sensor is very power efficient. The GPS is not as power efficient. So that even if you don't have a solar set up, just on a larger battery, you can buy a larger battery for it, and it'll last a long time, and it might last a week or two, and you might just have to only charge it every other week or something like that.
Keep in mind where the sensor is. This has a light sensor and a temperature sensor. When I put it in my pocket, it says that it's dark, and it doesn't measure the light. And depending on which pocket I put it, it might say it's 98.6 degrees outside because I'm sitting on it. So just know where it is. What Patrick was saying, if you put a sensor on it and you put that inside an enclosure, it's going to tell you the environment of the enclosure. But there are ways that you can get external sensors and plug them into there and have rain gauge or a temperature sensor outside with a wire going back to your box that has the node.
And one thing you want to pay attention to up here is that the icon up here, if you become disconnected, I'm going to force the disconnection here, but if you become disconnected because you walked too far away from the node, you'll see this little slash icon up on the upper right. And that's a hint that you can still see your data. You see the list of nodes, but you're asking yourself, why aren't these updating? And that happens to me all the time. And then you look at the upper right and you say, oh, I'm out of Bluetooth range, or I'm not connected. Whatever reason, I need to go back and I need to reconnect. And then all of a sudden, things will refresh. It'll refresh, and then you'll see, okay, that was the problem. I was out of Bluetooth range.
The only other thing, we were having a problem with mine a minute ago. Like, some of them weren't refreshing and all that. This is, I won't say it's stable, but this is new stuff. This is new technology. This has not been ran through Apple's Q&A and all that other stuff. So there's quirks in it. I've had to restart mine 3 times because I wasn't seeing any nodes all of a sudden. And now I got 50. So just be prepared, it's not,
Now, you're on alpha.
I'm on alpha, I'm not on the stable
beta mode is
version.
more stable. So I never go on alpha because of those issues.
Right.
I always stay on the latest beta version is the most stable.
Okay.
But you can have issues.
We had some question about the location, and you might want to give your general location, but you don't want to give your exact location. And so this gives you a fudge factor. You can say that, oh, I want it accurate within 1.8 miles, or I'm going to turn it down to 0.5 miles, or I'm going to turn it way up to 3.6 miles, because I'm really nervous about it. I still want to give a general location, but I don't want to give the exact location. So this adds some error to your location, but it also shows a range circle so that it shows generally where you are, but not exactly where in the circle. And you can make the circle smaller or bigger. On Android, you can actually take the circle down to 0, but you're not allowed to do that on iOS, and it turns out that that's because of a privacy policy in iOS that has nothing to do with technology. It's not a technical limitation, because you can switch it over to a laptop, or you can switch it over to, or you can use Android instead, and you can take it all the way down to 0. But you need to be aware that don't accidentally take it down to 0 when you didn't mean to do that. If that's not what so just look out for that and be aware of it. Normally, if you do that, you get in on the map here, you're going to see these pulsing circles, and the pulsing circles show you what the error range is. So, well, I guess that shows you where the node is, but you can see the circle says, okay, it's somewhere in that circle, but I'm not going to tell you exactly where in that circle.
It's not the range of the node. That is.
Yeah, that's not the range. Yeah.
The fudge factor, Scott called it. That node is somewhere within that gray circle.
Uh-huh.
So can you reach, with your node, can you reach that node in Tennessee, or is that too many hops away, are you saying?
If I tried to do it with a trace route, I probably wouldn't be able to reach it. If I send a message to everyone, I might be able to reach it. Here's another point. If you're on the PACE plan and you're thinking about your primary emergency communications, alternate, contingency, all that stuff, I wouldn't use this as my primary communication ever. But if Meshtastic is the only thing that you have left, then the easiest way to get an emergency message out is probably to set your long name, because what gets out the most and what's constantly being broadcast the most is your long name. So put a description of your emergency in the long name area, which is like the first thing when we set Scott's node. Put it there. You can also send out broadcast messages on channel 0 about your emergency.
In that case,
but
it would be good to give more of an exact location.
yeah, then you might want to narrow down your location as low as possible. You could even reference it in your long name if you wanted to be, if you wanted to send it out more than once. But this is what goes out the most, and what travels the furthest is your name. So if you're in a tight spot, it makes sense to describe the emergency as much as you can in 30 characters in the long name. And then it'll come up in this list. But also, it's not a bad idea to send out on channel 0. But fewer people will see it on channel 0 probably than they will see it in the name.
So I would think this would be a good vehicle to alert people to get on GMRS at a certain time, to give a message.
You could, but you're going to reach a lot of people who aren't on GMRS too.
Well, she creates a channel.
Okay, yeah, if you create a channel, yeah, then get on the NGMRS channel and say, right, be on my net.
At 2 o'clock,
right.
radio up.
Right.
But if you want to conserve your battery for your radio, you got no power. Everybody has solar nodes. You can use this all day long.
Yeah.
And you can say, emergency update 605 channel 19.
Yeah, and I've also got a power bank over there, and that power bank would charge it. This would probably charge 100 times on the power bank, because the power bank has so much capacity. The power bank is enough to charge a laptop 3 or 4 times. It's enough to charge a phone 11 times. It'll charge this probably 100 times because the capacity is so small. But you can also use it without charging it as soon as you plug in. So, having a power bank is another contingency, another way that you can you can add to the capacity and help with the assurance in an emergency situation. I brought it here, so let me get it. This is the INIV, which is available on Amazon. There's some things I recommend that you don't buy on Amazon, but this is one of the things that it might be worth buying on Amazon. The INIV is pretty good. It's got a
INIV?
yeah, India, November, India, Victor. I'm sorry, Victor. India, November, India, Victor. I guess that's V. Maybe it's a U.
Is it just a very large lithium ion? Is that it?
Yeah. How many milliwatts in that one?
Let me see what it says. It says 27,000 milliamp hours.
And how much does it run on Amazon?
Wish I could remember. Probably under 100, but I don't remember the exact number. I'm going to take back the spelling. Looking at it, I think it's INIU.
Oh, you're trying to throw us off.
My husband bought
Yeah, it's like that recipe.
solar panel for little ones.
That's right, it is one of them.
So do you have any questions or anything else you want me to go
You
over?
guys are great.
I'm charging
And this
my
is
solar.
so-
This is now a solar node.
And that's all we have to do is there,
And that's all you did, is just get one of those
Yeah, I
things?
just got one of these.
Yeah,
Plug
that's,
into the
you
power.
just had it from Depot, right? For the-
No, I volunteered at Thrift Shop. I got this.
Yo,
at the Thrift Shop.
The red quiz block has the charging circuit. All you would have to do is plug a battery into this battery connector and plug that solar panel into it, and it's a full solar array.
So where did you get it?
I got it at Thrift Shop, secondhand. But you can get these on Amazon.
Different voltage.
Yeah, Harbor Freight, Amazon, and
Powers of 32,000.
start, put it out for sun.
35
USB-A and USB-C. So,
Can I charge it up?
What's that?
Dale,
yeah, I've done that. I have a solar panel.
All right, so I know we're running late, but I know that some people wanted help with setting
Yeah,
up
I think it
nodes.
does. This is laptop.
So we can switch over to that. If you don't have a node, and I apologize, folks, must have gotten, I don't know.
Is it okay?
Yeah, he's okay. Last time I talked to him, he was
This every day.
filling out police reports or whatever, so.
But this is the.
But he said he was planning to make it, so.
This will charge a laptop like once.
Chat
And
260.
It'll charge my phone
Uh,
like 6 times.
GMRS. We can get you his contact info if you're interested. But he distributes from Thunderbird, or you can just get it direct. So, Scott, is there anything else you wanted to?
Is there any question or anything?
What's that little,
This Seed, S-E-E-E-D.
that's what I did, the C's.
The Seed Studios has they have a solar one and then they have that one. And then they also have the little boards you can buy. That's what I bought. I bought the little board and my brother-in-law printed me this case and there's a battery online too.
Yeah,
For like
you can
$10.
put it together, you can buy it
Yeah, lots of.
all in one.
Yes.
This is,
Yeah, but Seed Studio sells this one in their own case. It comes in a case ready to go. You just
yeah.
turn it on.
So,
Sounds fun.
thank you, folks. I hope you learned one thing, two things that you can take with you. You know, Scott is Atlanta 194. I'm Atlanta 557, and Colt is chat 260.
No, I'm in.
Reach out to us on the air or on Facebook Messenger, whichever. Be glad to answer any questions for you. That concludes the presentation part. We'll be glad to stay behind if anybody wants help setting up their nodes. We'll do Android on this side and iOS on this side. Scott will handle iOS. I can handle any Android setups. And we'll get you on the air. The other thing too, before you leave, if you do have a working
No, I
node,
think it's because it's alpha. It's just
and you want to join that channel, add that channel, go ahead and
That's why I wouldn't per se, because I didn't have a working note,